This week, we're going to talk about staying true to your process, and especially in the beginning, and is Hollywood dead? Someone must have put an article out somewhere on some Substack or the Hollywood Reporter or something, and every forum is full of Hollywood's dead, forget about it. Is it too late to become a new writer? Is my opera, all those doom and glooms. If the industry is making your career choice for you, yes, leave, find something else. You'll never stick it out. You'll be a fair weather friend. You'll join the team while they're winning and leave when they're losing. This isn't for you. This is for people who want to stick it out and actually have a career in the business. Let's look at business as a rule. The number of customers haven't reduced. If anything, the population of the world is getting bigger. People are getting more affluent. Even poorer countries are becoming more affluent, have things like Netflix and streaming and things like that. So there's more customers. There's more distribution channels like streaming. Exhibition has dwindled a little bit, but I went to a movie the other night. I think it was Deadpool and Wolverine. I went to Gold Class, which is a bit like the Alamos Draft House. And nice recliners, bring your food, coffees, all that sort of stuff. It was packed. Every seat was sold. And that was fairly early, I think, on a Saturday evening. So people are still going to the movies. The cinema is still working. It's not massive. It's not doing massive numbers, but it's not bad considering that its market share has been sliced up by streaming. The same way that people said, home video is going to destroy cinema. It didn't destroy cinema. So it's not going to destroy cinema. Streamers may have, pared back a bit. That's simply because they thought it was an unlimited number of customers. They all went to try to take over the streaming thing. They saw Netflix was starting to be huge, so they all wanted a piece of that pie. So they all started opening streaming services. Now, of course, there is a finite number of customers that makes running a streaming service viable, and your catalogue has to be big enough. A reason a shop could survive with maybe 500 videos is because you had to drive to the shop, you'd get one, maybe two, maybe have one of those deals where you can get 10 for $10 for a week. But it was a transaction. You paid for that one, you drove home, you watched it, you rewinded, if you were kind, brought it back to the shop, and they put it back on the shelf. The next person got it. With streaming, it's, I finished a movie, watch the next one. I finished a movie, watch the next one. The catalogue has to be vast, has to be much broader, because they're competing against other streamers. They're competing against event TV, like the Olympics we've just had, or sports events. But they need to have a bigger catalogue, and not everyone can have a vast catalogue. So people are going to start picking at the streamers they want, and the less popular streamers will disappear, which means now the remaining streamers have access to more library. They don't need to make as many things because the back catalogue is still popular. Friends is still hugely popular. I've just rewatched Mad Men. It was great. 7 seasons. It's worth a watch. People can watch a back catalogue now, so they don't need to produce as much stuff. So industry goes up and down, ebbs and flows. I remember people going, Netflix is dead, I'm going to sell all my Netflix stock. And I was saying to people, if I was cashed up, which I wasn't at the time, I would be buying Netflix stock. Netflix owns their own library of goods. They have a back catalogue of things that they've already licensed for the next 20 years. They already have a subscriber base. People had overvalued the stock. It came down and then it right-sized. Hollywood is right-sizing. Now let's talk about the location of Hollywood itself. Hollywood itself will eventually disappear. The reason being is that the real estate, the land is going to become far too valuable. It's a bit like car yards. Car yards are beginning to disappear here, especially here in Sydney, because real estate is so expensive, land is so expensive. You've got a place there which has just got parked cars on it for people to come and buy, when you can sell them online now. Auctions, online auctions. Amazon has cars, eBay has cars, Facebook Marketplace has cars. A car yard isn't a license to print money anymore, but it is worth millions of dollars if you're going to build an apartment block on it. So car yards are being converted to apartment blocks, especially because they're on main thoroughfares. Car yards were never in back alleys. They were of passing traffic. So it's great to build an apartment block with shops underneath. perfect for a car yard. This is what's going to happen to Los Angeles. All these things that were like the Paramount backlot, Universal, all these places that have acres of land, it's going to become too valuable to make movies on when you can make things in Atlanta, Vancouver. I don't think a single frame of the Game of Thrones was shot in America. It was Ireland, Croatia, and North Africa, I think. So the location isn't important anymore. With the internet, we can just send jobs off to get edited here, looked here, watch the dailies over there, all done live via the cloud. You can edit in the cloud. DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use, is now in the cloud. So that land, that physical space and CGI, and like the dome in Las Vegas, you can put anything in there and make it anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter anymore. You don't have to be in those spots. So the intrinsic value of the land will kill off Hollywood eventually.
Am I making any sense at all?
But the drive for you getting into your career, the most important thing, this isn't a quantity industry, it is a quality industry. You have to improve what you're doing. That's part 2. Being true to your process. If you have a process that works for you, don't change it. That does not mean be blind to your lack of craft or your, I'm going to say lack of talent, even though it's not very charitable. But don't be blind to the need of improvement. But if you've got something that works for you, stick to it and improve on it. Songs. There's a Coldplay song. It starts on the 2nd chord of the scale, so it doesn't sound right until it gets going, and then it makes sense. But everyone would say, no, you've got to start around the root of the scale, and that will get you your song. You don't need to do that. You can, whatever your process is. Some people say, I need to learn to write a treatment. Somebody says I've got to learn to write treatments. You don't. I've never been asked for a treatment. I've been asked for a synopsis. You might never need to write a treatment. I outline in bullet points or dot points. He does this, he does this, he does this. And I'll throw questions for myself. Why would you do that? And this and this. And when I've got like 100 dot points, 50 is not bad, but if I've got a good 100, I just cut and paste those straight into What Write a Duet, and they will become whatever they become. But I don't start writing around them and deleting them, and done. Whatever your process is, hold your process. Don't read a book or hear a podcast or see something where people go, you have to start with a log line. If you don't have a log line, you don't have a clear understanding of your story. Avoid those people. Whatever you have, you might start with an end scene, you might start with a middle scene, you might start with the twist in the center and go, oh, I'm going to work in those directions because there's an interesting twist for that person. I don't know. But stay true to your process and grow in your craft. Another thing I heard someone say is they saw this line for whatever the movie was, The Matrix, how the hotel was burnt and had a shadow of ash or whatever it was. That wasn't in there. And I said, well, that's a tone statement. You will see tone statements when you start reading great screenplays. They look like unfilmables. They give you a mood, they give you a tone, they give you a feeling, they give you a performance. You've got to be able to do a tone statement in just a few words, one sentence at most. A lot of people go, oh, you mean I'm allowed to write things that aren't visual? And then suddenly they have a page and a half on describing a doorknob. And when you say that's terrible, they go, no, it's tone. It's not craft. A few words as possible is your friend. Specificity is your friend. Thank you to everyone who's been doing that. It's been amazing. T-shirts. T-shirt. Books. Again, 20% off for you guys at Write a Duet. I get nothing out of that, as you know. And until next time, keep writing.